phone call.
And it wasn't even an actual. It wasn't even a phone call that
resulted in anything.
No, it was an assumption. And then you got Adam Schiff. Fucking Adam Schiff goes on there. We'll see about the subpoena. I can't even speak. Try to see if the subpoena was even able to be. I was like, you know what, you motherfucker, you subpoenaed everybody under the sun,
right?
And now we don't even know. I'm looking forward to Josh Hawley and Jim Jorgensen. They are Generation X in the government, and they are not holding punches.
Well, you know what I love about Jim Jordan? Jim Jordan is a wrestler.
Yes.
His brother, we actually went to his brother's camp this summer. One
nice.
of the greatest wrestling coaches in history, high school wrestling coaches in history. Jim Jordan was a great wrestler in Ohio, great college wrestler. Bo Jordan is a great wrestler and coach. All of them, the whole family, they know how to fight, and that's what they do. And you talk to his brother sounds just like him. Everything is high energy. I am going to win. I am going to fight, and I'm going to win. And that's how Jim Jordan is. And that's why I love watching his clips on Capitol Hill, because he just eviscerates everybody. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't play this politics. He is like, I am going straight after you. I'm going for the jugular, and I'm going to let you bury yourself first before I bring out, the killing blow.
I mean, Josh Hawley ripped the FBI director a new asshole.
Oh, did you see that where they were actually asking about him asking about the person on what's the name of that FBI person for January 6th? And he asked were FBI agents involved on the ground in January 6th?
No. So the head director of the FBI was in a meeting there. He being under the FBI being under scrutiny, and Josh Hawley, he left, I guess, the previous meeting because he, quote, had business to go to. Josh Hawley you use the FBI plane to go to the Adirondacks for a vacation with your family. You left a congressional hearing in the middle of it to go on vacation.
Yeah.
You don't see anything wrong with that. That plane doesn't leave just if you're not there. That plane is technically in his contract as the FBI director to go on his leisure, whatever. Great. Good for fucking him. But he says when he can't leave. Why did he fucking just finish the damn meeting and then leave?
Right.
And I mean, Josh Hawley just, he's impressive. I'm very impressed.
Now, of course, the question is, my father is one that, is saying they need to impeach Trump the first day, we take over and the House and stuff. And
you mean Biden?
Or Biden, sorry. Impeach Biden. And I'm like, okay, I understand, Dad, you want the tit for tat. But there's a few things to remember. One, we only have like 2 or 3 people more. Like, we're not talking a huge majority to be able to siphon off a few Republicans that won't.
We have the majority in the House to do so. The problem is the Senate, because we still need 2/3.
But nothing will pass the Senate.
It won't get through the Senate. So he'll get as Trump did. He'll get impeached in the House, but yet never convicted in the Senate.
Right, but like my dad said, at least it'll show that they're doing something. And I'm going, okay, first off, when you only have a few people more, that's not very many that are not going to go along with it, and it doesn't pass, and then it looks bad. Number two, uh, we can't just do like the Democrats did and impeach him over anything that we can. It has to be very substantial.
Well, I mean,
And so I'm all for them investigating, but hold off on the impeachment until you have something that, if the Democrats vote against it, they show that they're colluding.
so I mean, the whole, speaking of fucking colluding, the whole Twitter thing that started Friday. Mind you, today is Sunday when you're all listening, December 4th. So we were supposed to record Friday, the same day this was all dropping. So Elon Musk finally decided to release a long tall tale of what happened with Twitter, and
Oh yeah.
um,
And it was released in a huge, like, I don't even know
oh,
how many parts.
it's a
24. How many
yeah,
parts thread is that?
it's a
Um,
long ass fucking thread. That's what that is. Um,
I want to say it's like 30, 33 parts. That Matt, how do you say his last name? Tiabi.
yeah, I'm not sure. Well, he is the reporter that Elon Musk has given the opportunity of releasing said information, which is great. I mean, good for him. Um, but
So
it was just like
yeah. So
dropping all this shit.
um, so looking at this Twitter thread, so it drops at 6:34 p.m. on December 2nd, Friday, December 2nd. Um, and the thread just says thread, the Twitter files. And then
Elon
goes on.
Musk tweeted right after, said, "I got 2 bags of popcorn on my couch."
Yep.
I'm like, oh shit.
And he says, what you're about to read is the first installment in a series based on thousands of internal documents obtained from sources at Twitter. The Twitter Files tells an incredible story from inside one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It's a Frankensteinian tale of a human built mechanism grown out of control of its designer. Twitter, in its concept, was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. Really, that's where Twitter is different than Facebook. Facebook is, I'm going to put this post out there, my friends will read it and stuff. Twitter really created the hashtag. And
Absolutely.
you put it out and you put hashtag, whatever, and then all people have to do is look up that hashtag and it goes, viral to millions of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. We got the Arab Spring because of Twitter. We got a ton of change because of Twitter, both good and bad.
I
But
mean,
like some of the stuff that he shows here in number 8, thread 8, he said by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete Twitter tweets were routine. One executive would write another, more to review from the Biden team, and the reply would come back, quote, handled. And they would show that. Um, Celebrities and this is not thread 9. Celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. And
and what's great is, I mean, it's from someone's actual Twitter, and
right.
it's like they're just naming people. It's like, hey, you need to take care of this. No,
And they would do it. Like no questions. One of the things that he put out also is that even though Twitter claims, well, it was there for both Republicans and Democrats, he said, yeah, but the Democrats the left had much more access to people, including the people that are higher up, and he showed contributions from Twitter, people at Twitter, to the different parties. In 2018, Twitter gave 309,394 total, of which 200 of that 309,000, 200 and almost 96,000 came from Democrats, 96.38%. 11,000 went to Republicans, 3.62%. In 2000, it moved up to 98.5 roughly percent to Democrats contributions out of $1 million. 14,000 went to Republicans, which is 1.54%. Cut to 2022, and it's a lot less money. 185,267 total. But of that 185,267, 165,969 went to Democrats, $450. I'm not missing any numbers there. $450 went to Republicans. So 99.73% of donations from Twitter employees went to Democrats. 0.27% went to Republicans. So when we talk about a conspiracy, I mean, it really was. They conspired to kill the Biden laptop story. And they even knew, because initially, and I remember everyone saying this initially, well, it was hacked. It was hacked, so therefore, because it was hacked, they couldn't post it. That was their reasoning. They knew within hours that it wasn't hacked, and that
Did you
excuse
see
wouldn't even stand up.
yesterday? James Woods announced that he is getting ready to sue the DNC.
No.
Oh, no, he is coming for him. He's got his. Hey, James Woods, as famous as he's going to play this as dirty as he could play it. And so this is going to be
he did play Shark, and for one season. So, a lawyer. He played the lawyer, so he knows what he's doing. Did you sleep in a Are you a lawyer? No, but I played one on TV.
Yeah. I think he's going to I don't think he's going to do this on his own. I think he's not going to have an issue paying his lawyers to clean the house, because he's just going to pay him with the money he gets from them.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to go through like all of these tweets just to see what the replies are to everything. I'd be interested to see the left trying to defend all of this.
Oh, everybody's calling him a liar that all this is made up. I mean, I don't know how when you're pulling internal documentation.
He's posting internal documents.
Oh no, this is great. This is Katie Hobbs. She's a fucking cunt, and I will say that. So she's the attorney general for Arizona. She threatened to put one of the board members from one of the counties in Arizona in jail if he refused to vote and certify. And then this came out with the Twitter files of her having tweets suppressed.
Yeah, I see that right there. I'm in communications with the office of the Arizona Secretary of State. I'm flagging this Twitter account for review.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh God.
This is so
I hope
bonkers.
she fucking crapped herself when all that came out, because then, I mean, the rest of the Arizona, before she takes office, all of this happened before January 6th, or fucking before, right after the election for back in November. But and no one takes their seats until January. I bet you there's going to be something to come up about all of this in each state, and also
I hope our attorney general they post a bunch of emails that my attorney general did, because my attorney general's a cunt, and she's a cunt that goes after barbers because they cut people's hair because they needed to survive.
I wonder if Gretchen Whitmore's in there somewhere.
I doubt it. It'd be awesome if she was, but
I mean, there's more to come. There's supposed to be a part 2. So,
well, are they putting out a part 2 also with when it comes to COVID stuff, because they banned a lot more
I
people
think
from
he's
COVID.
getting to it. He's just doing the election at the moment, and
But from this, they were getting contacted directly from the Biden campaign
yep.
to suppress information.
So you tell me how that's not collusion? It's collusion at its finest.
Yeah, there's no other. Well, and the one of the arguments that the left likes to make is freedom of speech is not absolute. What the fuck?
Freedom of speech is fucking. I mean, unless you're Kanye West,
Unless I'm calling to specifically tweet out, okay, we need to kill Ryan tonight at 12 o'clock.
you're not. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're gonna incite violence, yeah, then you need to go.
That's where
Um,
that's where it's not absolute. You can't not even incite violence. You cannot make a call. You cannot make a
I
direct
saw
action.
Kanye West says he likes Nazis, that they did good things, and I'm like, I understand now why you got banned. I'm sorry. We all this is a world agreement that the Nazis were bad.
Right. Like, yeah. No, I don't know anybody that's disagreeing with you.
I mean, who fucking knows? I mean, it's it's been something. But this has been the Democrats' worst absolute nightmare, because the fact is that you have to understand, like, he's going to release shit probably from 2016 and on, and God knows what's all going to come out now, and so it's gonna be an entertaining thing, and also, so man, this is a. I feel like we're going really fucking quick in this
We
tonight.
are. We're like 30, and I'm running out of stuff to say already. I think I'm out of practice. That break like took it out of me.
So everyone knows, if this is a short show tonight, love you all. We will try to pick it up next week. I do want to talk about the railroad. Remember what we talked about, the railroad strike back in September originally?
Yeah.
And then Biden was praised for coming up with this deal.
Yeah.
You know what's sad is all they want is fucking sick time.
Right. Right.
You know, okay, so
well,
2013.
Everybody is saying this is no different than what Reagan did with the pilot strike, or the air traffic control strike, or whatever it was. I don't know too much about the air traffic control strike outside of he basically told you you're not allowed to strike. But if I remember correctly, and tell me if I'm wrong. A part of the reason is that we will negotiate with you, but you're not allowed to strike if the negotiations don't go your way. You have to continue negotiating. It wasn't just him making a law saying you can't strike.
All right, so when Reagan faced his biggest test, it was back in 1981, August of 81. 11,000 people hadn't crossed the picket line. Fired more than 11,000. Those that hadn't crossed the picket line dealt serious labor movement. Hold on. That's just a thing on it.
Yeah, I knew he fired a lot of people. Basically,
He
said
fires 11,359 air traffic controllers.
Yeah, he basically said if you're gonna
for
strike,
violating his order of them returning to work. Our president of the Air Traffic Association was founded in contempt of court by a federal judge to pay $1,000 a day in fines. Fuck. So that I'm trying to figure out. I'm not really familiar on the strike. So
I wasn't born at the time, so I wasn't there at the
I
time.
wasn't born yet. Yeah, no. So on August 3rd, 1981, the union declared a strike seeking better working conditions and better pay. The PATCO sought to total raise of $600 million over 3 years compared to the FFA's offered of $40 million. Fuck. Wow. And a 32-hour work week.
Damn.
A 4-day a week and 8-hour days combined. What? Oh. God damn. That's $600 million over 3 years? Fucking Christ. But that was back in the 80s.
So we're talking closer to $1 billion right now.
Yeah. Good God. So with the current issue with the railroad. So the railroad, their main topic on their strike that they wanted to do was the fact that they don't have sick time or annual time for them to use. So if they because railroaders are 24-hour, 7 days a week employees. They're always on shift. Yes, they're in rotation. Is one,
and he gets called in constantly, even on his days off.
Yeah, so the money, if you're single and and you're just wanting to make money, that's a field you want to get in because you're always on the clock. Biden did get them a very nice raise. My problem is like, okay, so back in 2013, Obama did his nice fancy dancy signature, and gave federal contractors at least 7 days of sick time to use. Remember this. So when they were negotiating the contract, they did what Democrats do the best: just throw money at it. Just fucking threw money at them. I wonder if they actually picked up like a wad of like ones and threw it at him.
I swear, the way that Democrats do, that's how they get elected in places like Detroit and stuff, is they drive around and they just throw out wads of cash with a sign that says "Vote for me."
They do the 1989 Joker when they're doing the parade, and he's got like boxes of money, and he's just throwing it. Jack Nicholson throwing money.
Yes.
Money.
Yes.
Money. Money. Who wants the money? That's what I see.
Bad that I see the Joker in a lot of Democrats. They want chaos. They want
I mean, we are standing in their face of democracy. Or their threat of democracy. We're threatening their democracy.
right by
Trying to figure out how.
yeah.
But
I
we're not a
still can't.
democracy. We're a republic. If you want a true democracy, go to fucking Canada.
Well, even in Canada, they're finding out that it was the Biden administration that pushed Trudeau to put the kibosh to the truckers
convoy.
truckers thing convoy. Thank you. Because it would look America.
Oh, because if it they tried. We were trying to do it in the States, but they were not having it.
Yep. So the Biden administration actually threatened Trudeau to put this down, or we're cutting off funding or whatever else we're doing.
Fucking insane. But the railroad. So instead of actually working a contract, they forced our government to create them a Isn't it democracy? Isn't the Democrats like the union?
Yeah.
For the unions, right?
Yeah, they're all about the unions, or at least they used to be.
I mean, I'm a conservative. I have no issue with unions. I've been in a couple of them, and I don't have an issue with them. Sometimes they do good. Sometimes whoever's running it fucking is a piece of shit, and they're fucking everything up because they're going out for themselves instead of actually doing what's best for the facility. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
But why does our government have to create a contract for our supply line? Give them sick days.
The thing is they justify it by saying it's interstate commerce, therefore it falls under that clause of the. But most of that should be privately owned.
All railways are privately owned. The last time the railroads were taken over by public and by the government was during World War II.
Right, but
Hoover.
what I'm saying is it's not truly privately owned if the government can step in and say
they're privately owned, but the railway, like they're contracted by the federal government for a lot of the transport, right, so they're getting paid.
And they're crossing state lines, and because they're crossing state lines, it falls under interstate commerce and
yeah. So it's like
I hate that fucking commerce clause. The federal government uses that for everything, for their excuse for everything. Think of most of the stuff that you hate the for, and 80% of that is due to the interstate commerce clause and them bastardizing it. So,
but I mean, I just don't think it's right that our federal government, the House and the Senate, had to vote on a fucking bill or a contract for them so they can't strike. Force them to take this piece of shit bill so they don't strike.
Right.
And I'm going to call it a piece of shit because it is a piece of shit. Yes, granted, yes, they are making far more than they would have in years.
Yeah.
But the thing is, their main goal for striking was to get sick time. You don't want a train operator fucking with the flu, fucking having to wipe his nose while he's fucking trying to shove a coal in or whatever. to keep going.
So this going back to the trucker convoy.
Yeah.
Um, this is from November 24th while we were on hiatus. Uh, this one's from the Post, but the Biden administration pressured Canadian counterparts to clear the truckers' blockade um, north of the border. A public inquiry into the Canadian government's decision to use emergency powers to clear the quote unquote Freedom Convoy protesters revealed on Thursday that frantic phone calls were placed by Washington to Ottawa in an effort to open up choking off supply lines. They were very, very worried, the Canadian finance minister wrote in an email to her staff on February 10th. If this is not sorted out within the next 12 hours, all northern car plants will be shut down. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg phoned his Canadian counterpart, Transport Minister Omar Abra, the same
Algebra
day,
sounds right.
and they called Freeland, according to the report, and Buttigieg pressed him about Canadians' plans to move the convoy.
Oh yeah, man.
So
I mean Castro's little boy there from is doing a bang up job there in fucking Canada.
Yeah, but he was basically being pushed and guided by this administration.
Fuck. We all talked about how Biden looks like a goddamn puppet. I was talking to another guy, and we were saying it's like you can't tell me like that doesn't look like a fucking someone wearing Biden's skin. He has no earlobes anymore. Like, oh no, he got a facelift. I said, no, you can't justify. Oh, he got a facelift. Earlobes don't disappear on a fucking facelift. No matter how tight you stretch that face.
Yeah, he had them surgically attached down below.
I guess. And he's one of those guys I work with. We can't talk politics because we'll start to. We like each other on every aspect of anything, but we can't talk politics because
I'm like that with a lot of people.
It just I'll punch them eventually. But it is what it is. And but I was like, man, I think it's Obama wearing his face.
It is. You know, Obama's the one pulling the strings anyway.
Oh.
Biden can't think for himself.
Well, no, it's like Jeff Dunham with Walter and hand up ass and
yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, Jeff Dunham did that just recently. Do that
used to be.
Yeah. What? Well, I mean, I was saying where Jeff Dunham just had a special and made Walter Joe Biden. So that was entertaining.
Ooh, is that on Netflix?
No, it was on Comedy Central.
I
don't think Jeff Dunham's ever done a special on Netflix.
I have Paramount. Would it be on there?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. It might. If Comedy Central's on Paramount, then yeah.
Comedy Central's on Paramount.
Then it might be on there.
We literally got Paramount because my son got into watching South Park. My 11-year-old son.
my kids watching Demon Slayer on Hulu.
Oh, my son loves that.
So and
he actually has me get all the Demon Slayer books and
oh no, we're starting to get he's starting to get manga, but he got into it. He's also into Attack of Titan. So we went to Barnes and Noble. My wife was looking for something. I took my son over to the manga area, and my wife walks over and she goes, "Holy shit, that's a lot." I said, this is nothing. This is just what they hold, what they section off. You
Yep.
know, I mean, and you got to remember, manga. I had to remind my son. Remember, manga is read right to left, not left to right. He goes, "This is going to be confusing." I said, "You'll get the hang of it." You know. So I mean, he's doing Attack on Titan, and he wants to get into. He's starting also to do Demon Slayer. So I mean, he's getting interested. And my wife tries to watch it with him, and she's like, I don't understand. I said,
See,
we baby
wife on
steps.
that one.
We got to do
Wife,
baby steps.
yeah, my wife was all into manga and all of that stuff. So she watches all that with them. She knows all. She, I mean, she plays Magic and stuff like that. I never got into that. So when
Yeah,
I'm watching it
I
as an
do that.
adult,
It's like my son plays Pokemon cards, and I'm like, man, that reminds me of when I was in school and I was playing Magic of the Gathering, and there was like 6 of us that played, and I was like, man, I actually stopped playing just after 6th edition for Magic, and I know there's been like 5, 6 more sets that came out after that, and I'm like, you have to understand, like I started with Alpha Beta in the beginning, and then I worked all the way up. My favorite series has always been 5th and the Urzus edition. I love the
that
Urzus class. Um,
that this
I
all
had
means like
nothing to you.
I'm no, it's like I understand how excited you get with it and excitement in your eyes. The same thing is in my son's eyes when he opens up a new pack and he sees some of the new characters or cards that he got and how powerful they are and what damage they do and this, and he gets excited and I try to get excited, but I don't understand it. So I'm just like,
It happens. I mean, it, see, Magic of the Gathering is so fucking old. That's where like the premise of like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and all the other card games came after it. So yeah, it's definitely a change. And my kid loves Pokemon. He wants to get the new Pokemon game for the Switch, and I'm like, I'm waiting because I mean, there's so many fucking bad patches right now on the new Pokemon game. Like people are just falling through the ground when there's not supposed to be.
I took my son out to buy Fortnite gift card today because the new season of Fortnite came
Oh
out
my god,
yesterday.
that was
And
that was fun. My kid was a part of that too. He was
yeah,
watching it.
yeah, Chase watched it and told me all about it and everything. And those events are fun. I'll admit, I love watching those events when I can with them.
Yeah.
But then, like I say, the new one came out, and evidently, in order to get the new battle pass or new skin or something like that, he needed a $20 gift card because we won't just put our credit card in.
Oh fuck
Um,
yeah.
so uh, I told him like, well, if you can scrounge up $20, fucking kid went through our whole house and everything, found all of the empty bottles because Michigan has a bottle return, and found up and he's like, can you take me to the store? And he comes out with like big bags of bottles, and I'm like, oh, uh,
Hey, you gotta give him
yeah,
credit. You gotta give him credit.
I guess we're
I
going to
mean,
the store today.
I had to take my kids Christmas shopping because my wife's family does like a Secret Santa, and everybody gets a name and all. And my wife's been working more overtime because I can't. Um, so I took them out, and my wife knows I despise Christmas shopping.
I do too. So I
Fucking
love
hate it.
Amazon. I can Christmas shop from the toilet.
Well, yes, it's easy to just do it on Amazon, but I'm trying to keep my kids in the spirit of. They still believe in Santa. I give them that. Um,
My son doesn't. We were talking about that the other night because he was asking me, about Krampus and stuff, and I told him about like the history of Krampus and all that, um, and then he said, "Well, where did our Santa come from?" And I'm like, "Well, our Santa is actually the Belgium Santa, and was popularized by Pepsi in their ads in the 19 teens and 1920s and stuff like that." And he's like, "So is that where Chris Kringle?" And I'm like, "Well, Chris Kringle and St. Nicholas and stuff, those are associated with Santas from different parts of Europe, and they got kind of merged together when they came to the United, when it all moved."
Yeah.
I said, and then he was asking me about what about the history of the Christmas tree, and so like he knows there's no Santa. He still asks us to like leave presents from Santa, not just say everything's from mom and dad. But um so yeah, like he already knows. He knew that for the tooth fairy, he lost one of his back teeth. He's getting to that age where he's again losing some teeth. And so he lost one of his back teeth, and we have such a hard time sneaking into his bedroom now because he's up. We have to go up a set of stairs that creaks into his bedroom in an old farmhouse that creaks, and he wakes up every time. So we have to come up with excuses. And finally, when this one came out, he's like, "I'm just gonna leave this right here for you guys, and you can take it and put money in its place, and I'll grab it tomorrow morning."
I
Like,
mean, gotta give the kid some credit there. I mean, it ruined the surprise, but also didn't want you to wake his ass up either, trying to get him take it.
right,
He's like, "Fuck you, bitches! I want to sleep."
right. He's like, "I'm getting the money either way."
And so, I mean, I just hate Christmas. I guess it's just because I come from a broken family dynamic. Fucking, I hate this time of year. And my wife tells me I need to be more cheery. I'm turning into Santa. I might as well start being Santa. And I'm like, no, fuck this shit. I just want to curl up in a ball and go to sleep. That's all I want to do.
You
I
know
want
the
to be fat
Norwegian,
like a bear and go into hibernation. That's
you
what I
know,
want to do.
the Norwegian Santa, um, not only gave presents to the good kids, but actually kidnapped the bad kids and put them in a sack and took them back up to the North Pole to work for
Eh, both my kids will be gone then. Uh,
them.
all
There
right.
was no
So
lump of. Oh, that was the other part he asked me. "I don't understand why you get a lump of coal." And I'm like, "Well, the lump of coal back in the day was to heat your house. So rather than getting a present that you wanted, he gave you a practical present. Kind of like when you go and open up presents and it's a pack of socks, and you're like, "Oh, they're socks. Thank you." It's kind of like that. Like it would be like modern day Santa leaving you a pack of socks rather than a toy.
all right. So let's get back to it with our spiel here. So Biden administration, after the whole FTX debacle, um, they sent Ukraine another $20 million.
Right, because why not?
The
20
fuck, yeah,
billion,
right.
not million, billion.
With even though it wasn't a red wave, it was enough to give the House Republicans the majority, and their first thing is to audit all the money that has gone from the United States to Ukraine. Like,
Which they
where's all that money at?
which
Like,
they should
what's
have.
it?
I mean, so now we're up to what, 60 billion?
Something like that.
And 60 billion of our money is going to Ukraine. Like I said, I don't mind us, hey, we're going to ship them a bunch of, bullets. But if we're just,
Sure.
what's it for? Is it just so, somebody can get rich over there on it?
Well, someone seems to be, but right now the administration is scrambling to locate $20 billion of aid with the upcoming possible audits. So, I mean, not only is the Biden administration losing money. The Pentagon lost $1 trillion again.
Just, hey, where'd that $1 trillion go? I don't know. I had it in my pocket. It was there 1 minute. I turned around. It was gone.
You saw that, right? I mean, like the Pentagon lost $1 trillion.
No, but I'm looking it up right now. Like I said, I've been out of the loop because I've been up hunting. Pentagon lost dollars. Forbes, Uncle Sam can't account for $21 trillion. Oh, that's 2019. That's old. I want. What time frame should I put? Within the last week or month?
It was literally just a few days ago.
Pentagon fails audit. Pentagon admits it can't account for $2 trillion again.
Yeah, I mean, how much money do you have to say you can't lose it?
Right.
I mean, $1 trillion for the military budget and for the Pentagon and everything should already be perfectly allocated. Allocated is the word I'm trying to say. Allocated based on the contracts for those that are working for the Pentagon, for the military, for projects.
Yeah, it says 27 agencies were audited within the Department of Defense. Only 7 received a passing grade. 39% of the $3.5 trillion in assets that were accounted for, leaving approximately $2.2 trillion in assets unaccounted for.
Just a lot of money.
Okay, let's see here. The agency takes up over half of the discretionary spending every year. To break that down, they refer to the assets that they cannot account for. 2.9 million in military personnel. 2.9 million military personnel. Equipment and weapons, 19,700. Oh, this is the total. This isn't what's not accounted for. 290 ships, buildings and supplies, which provides medical care. Okay, so medical care is a part of that. So that would be the VA. But they don't know where 60% of the assets went. Of the $3.5 trillion, 60% of it is missing.
Yeah. So,
like, honestly, that's like, okay, that's like having a rich uncle and me walking up going, hey, can I have $1 million? What for? I don't know. Like, they just say, hey, we've got $3.5 trillion. What do you want? You want a couple million? Here, take a couple million. Do what you can with it.
Can I have an aircraft carrier? That'd be awesome.
I still need to watch that show. It's on Netflix now that you talked about, the one about the Pepsi aircraft.
The Harrier, the Harrier jet with Pepsi, yeah.
I saw it on Netflix, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah. Man, just needs 7 million points, and you can fucking buy it and get a Harrier jet. But that was all back in the 90s, so who knows? So,
but how do you? Okay, this is why people have problem with taxes. I don't know anybody that has a problem paying their taxes when we know where the money is going, where it's spent, and that it's spent correctly.
There's some good economists out there that said abolishing the IRS and going to a flat tax rate, 10%. Everyone does 10% of your income would
no
actually
loopholes, no.
10%. Your annual income is this. You owe 10% of it.
Yeah. And they can still do it off of your paycheck. Oh, your
Yep.
paycheck is $2,000. You owe 200.
Yeah. So I mean, it would work. I
Well, so the leftist viewpoint is that, well, it's not fair to people that don't make a lot of money, to the underprivileged. And how is that not fair to them? Well, a millionaire can afford to pay the 10%, but a person that only makes $1,000, $100 out of that, that's a lot of money. Well, when you factor in everything, all the taxes, they're paying more than 10%. Yeah, they get it back at the end of the year. But this way, you don't have to worry about, am I getting money back at the end of the year? Do I have to fill out my taxes? Do I have a write-off? Do I have this? Do I have that?
yeah, it fucking gets rid of all the fucking paperwork.
All it is I'm also a fan of a fair tax. Fair tax is, let's put a sales tax on everything and let's do Tennessee. We have a high sales tax, but we have no income tax.
Yeah.
Because then you decide what you're going to spend your taxes on. And of course it can be carve outs, for food or some certain necessities and stuff like that.
They also don't do emissions either. Tennessee.
The more and more I'm thinking I want to move to Tennessee.
I lived in Tennessee for a long time, and I would love to move back. But I want to wait for them to get weed legalized there, because
we could be moonshiners. We could move to Tennessee and become moonshiners.
It'd be kind of hard because there's a lot of old people that are still doing it, and they don't like anybody getting in their way.
No, I watched. I'm watching the show Moonshiners, and
oh, are you?
Like the third season? Yeah, the third season. Some new guy showed up, so the guys that were in that county found out where he was at and blew up his car. They put like a bucket full of tannerite under his car and shot it, and they were expecting it just to like explode a little bit, and all of a sudden that thing exploded.
It went pretty fucking high. Yeah, no, I'm waiting for them to if the federal government actually does what they say they're going to do and take weed off the class 1 narcotics list and make it federally legal. I think that would help a lot. That would actually make a lot of jobs available, especially for distro, because you could ship weed from state to state.
Yeah, I don't know, because at least like me seeing it in Michigan, one of the places here, because weed is so cheap in Michigan now, was selling an ounce. They had a Black Friday sale, an ounce, and it was supposedly, according to my friends, it was fire. For $18 for an ounce.
Yeah, we had a similar one. They had a buy two get one free special for full grams, and usually they run about like 40 to $50 a gram. So yeah, I mean you're spending $80, but you're getting $120 worth of weed.
Well, $120. The regular price of weed right now in Michigan is right around $40 an ounce.
Yeah,
a gram, an ounce.
Yeah. Well, see, I
and the problem
I get
problem
vapes.
Yeah,
I do vapes more than I do flour.
Those are cheap as hell too now.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is it initially created a lot of jobs because you had a bunch of these small what are known as micro groweries.
Yep.
These people that grow 50, 100 plants and sell it. Well, then they opened it up to these conglomerate grows, And they made it so that if you're a minority, you don't have to pay the whatever it is. You don't have like $1 million or $2 million insolvency to get your license. And so you have like basically now in Michigan, like 5 big grows producing tens of thousands of plants at a time, flooding the market and pricing out all these small people. So, you know, it's legal, but and it's great that it's more accessible to people, that you don't have to get a card. But when you make it so that only a few plants, well, what that did is that put so many people out of business, including the dispensaries, because they couldn't make the money that they needed because they had to pay buku taxes. They're having to sell dollars an ounce rather than a year or two ago when it was selling for $150-$200 an ounce, depending on
Yeah.
the quality.
No, I absolutely agree on that. I mean, weed 2 years ago is the same weed, but much cheaper. Um, and
Yeah. So yeah, so that's the thing. So a lot of people I know that when it was medical, that was their income. They had licenses, they were making an income, growing it in their own indoor farm on their property, and they weren't getting rich off it, but they were making an income. And now one actually just became a realtor because he had licenses for 2 farms. I want to say 75 plants at each farm, each location.
yeah,
And so he was actually making pretty decent money, supporting his family and everything. Now, yeah, he became a realtor because he's like, what do I do? I have no education. My education was that I grew weed from the time I was 20 years old. And so, yeah, he had to do something. So I don't know if it opens it up, great. But where I have a problem is don't open it up and make it like the tobacco industry, where the tobacco industry, Philip Morris basically priced out everybody else because they had the money to begin with. One of the plants, here's something that'll floor you. One of the plants that is one of them, growing thousands upon thousands at a time, that priced everyone out in our area, is owned by Pepsi.
nice.
Now, on paper, they're not owned by Pepsi, but when you follow the D, it's Pepsi.
I don't doubt that whatsoever. You know, as soon as they can, as soon as it's where they can say, "Hey, yeah, we've had this," they'll announce it. And so, I mean,
I think it should go back to, yeah, make it free, open, all of that, but each um
I mean,
place is only allowed to grow, 100 plants, 500 plants, 1,000 plants at the most, or something. Not this.
because
You're
it's all state regulated, it's state rules. So the thing is, not there's not a playbook on this. So each state is going like, oh, well, fuck it, let's do it this way. We'll do it this way. Like Pennsylvania, fucking ridiculous to get a grow license, but it's insane. But the thing is, like, there are
well,
strains that we used to get, they're not making anymore, and it's like,
and it's the same thing in Michigan. It's ridiculous to get one of these huge commercial grow licenses, but a micro grow, yeah, you have to save up. I think it's $50,000, but
yeah,
that's a lot easier than these big ones that say you need 2 million or 5 million or 10 million. Plus, just to apply, it costs you like $150,000 just to apply, not
It's
even if you
fucking
get
nuts.
accepted or not.
Yeah,
With the micro grow license, it costs like $5,000 to apply. You know, that's the way Michigan was until when they not only when they made it legal, they also changed the amount so that they added another class so that you could have these big, huge manufacture places that may hire 20 people or 50 people or something, but they also put, you know, 500 people or 1,000 people out of business that were growing on their own. And we're buying more stuff because you had more people buying rather than these big businesses, having all their stuff shipped in from, California or something, their fertilizer and their newts and all that stuff.
yeah. I don't know. So, all right. I think that we're going to get to the last thing for this evening, and why everyone's upset. Trump. This is making everybody upset. Because he wants to have the Constitution suspended due
What?
to election fraud. Um,
The Constitution should be terminated over the election being stolen. Andrew Bates, White House spokesperson, said.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, he believes that the election was stolen, still believes the election was stolen. Will I say the
It's your
election was
elector.
stolen? No. Will I believe that there was still funny business during the election? Absolutely.
I still think there's funny
Um,
business in this 2022 election.
Although, yeah, fuck yeah. So, and I mean, Liz Cheney did not, did not fucking hesitate to come out saying that, what did she write? Where'd her tweet go? Oh, I had it in front of me. Talking about wanting to get that Donald Trump has nothing to stand on, and that no honest person now can deny that Trump is the enemy of the Constitution because he wants to terminate the Constitution.
So I'm not. I want to hear exactly what his words were because right now all I'm seeing is like.
He just made it. I couldn't find it because I got locked out. I haven't been able to get back into Truth. He posted on Truth Social. Um, See if you can find it.
So
Um,
yeah, I'm on Truth. Truth Social. Because and the reason that I say this is because um so many times the media and especially the Democrats take what he says and twist it just slightly enough to make it sound bad. Now, saying we should throw out the Constitution, that sounds awful. But they also said he called Mexicans, what did he say, dirty or
Here
rapist,
it
called
is.
Mexicans
I found
racist.
his. So this is his tweet on True Social. So, with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democratic Party, do you throw the presidential election results of the 2020 election out and declare the rightful winner, or do you do a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of the rules and regulations of the articles, even though those found in the Constitution our great founders did not want and would not condone a false and fraudulent elections.
So in that, I am not reading that he said get rid of the Constitution.
No, I am reading that he believes, based on how
based on
One,
circumstances
based on
that
based on
the
everything that had.
circumstance, yeah, based on the exact writing of the Constitution should be thrown out in lieu of, the fact that they fraudulently had an election in his mind.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not wanting to get rid of the Constitution. He's just like, hey, fuckers, Twitter just like called y'all out on condoning your party with big tech, and you were suppressing things for the election to make yourself look better. Then blah blah blah. Fuck you.
Right,
Um,
right. And he's saying, does that mean I should just be put back in place as the rightful winner? Have another election.
I think there
And
should be a
even
runoff.
though
I
the
think it should be a
Constitution
runoff.
doesn't, yeah, even though the Constitution doesn't follow that, um, I don't think we should do either. I think what's done is done, and we need to move forward. But
Oh no, I don't doubt that
from
whatsoever. I think
his
we should just let it
viewpoint,
go.
from his viewpoint, I can see where he is coming from, because if I was, it's that thing. If there's a thing in law called jury nullification. And jury nullification basically says that, yes, the law is written in a certain way, but we jury are, even though the person violated the law, we as the jury are finding this person not guilty because the circumstances surrounding what he did, necessitated that we don't follow the law. And I think that's more of what he's saying. At least that's how I read it, because I just found it as you were reading it about halfway through. So what gets though is we have 3 articles up, one from CNN, one from Politico, and one from the UK Independent. And all 3 of them have in their headlines, Trump calls for the termination of the Constitution. What's the Politico one say?
Gotta love
Cheney
how they
calls
fucking
Trump enemy of the Constitution as he proposes terminating it. Nowhere in there did I see him saying, let's terminate the Constitution.
And then the Guardian.
Should be terminated.
Yeah. Well, that one's where
with widespread deception, big tech companies, election parties, massive fraud. The type of magnitude allows for the Okay, he says allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. So they took that part and said he wants the Constitution terminated. He wants to be a dictator and have no Constitution, so he can become he can be back in power and do whatever. And the left is not going to read what he actually said and try to interpret what he's actually saying. They're just going, well, the headline says this. Just like, them saying, well, Trump said we should inject ourselves with bleach. No, he didn't. He never said we should inject ourselves. Well, Trump called Mexicans rapists. No, he didn't. He said MS-13 is rapists. Well, Trump said that white supremacists. No, he said there were fine people on both sides and condemned white supremacists
and neo-Nazis.
Like you have to look at the full context of what he said and not the headlines, because the headlines are written to rile up leftists. And in this case, when I looked at the headlines when you sent it to me and didn't look further into it, yeah, the headlines go, wait, Trump said to terminate the Constitution because he wants to be president again? Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh no, I mean I know what the headline said, but I was like, that doesn't it doesn't make a lick of sense, but sure. So
So, that's my problem with this is the story said. The story is how they covered it. My issue is how it's covered. So, yeah,
And
Trump
see, and this is why big media, big tech, is trying to feed a story without giving the proper narrative and just going for a story that just riles everybody's cages.
right. I mean, exactly. And you know, that's why when we say big media and all that stuff are Democrats and worked in news for a long time. I got the AP reports, the raw AP reports, and then I also saw how the raw AP reports were changed by our reporters to fit their viewpoint. I'd say in every place, and I worked in quite a few different places. In every place I worked, I was either the lone conservative or there was maybe one other, and we just kind of like nodded to each other. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
know you exist. Yeah, I'm here with you. Like, we wouldn't actually say anything because that meant I was out of a job. Because I was going up against whenever I spoke up about something like that, oh, I was being canceled in our rooms by reporters and editors and everybody. So, and then these bullshit that most people don't read much past the paragraph. Trump the const well, he didn't. He said terminate some of the rules in this particular case. Like maybe there should be a review of the rules or these rules on a case by case basis. Man, if only a court system that could do. Is there a court system that can deal with the Constitution on a case by case basis?
That would be the Supreme Court.
Oh, right. That's right.
And there's actually a case in the Supreme Court that names Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and a slew of people from the Democratic Party. Um, fucking can't. I have it saved on my phone. I just can't fucking remember where I fucking put it, and it's irritating me. But that case is supposed to be up on the docket in February. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Right, right. Well, let's look at it another way. Murder is wrong. Murder is illegal, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If I murder somebody, who's trying to murder me?
Self-defense.
Right. But the law says that they carved out a circumstance in which you can defend yourself. That's not getting rid of the law that says murder is illegal. It's carving out that and saying, hey, in the case of this, in this circumstance, in Kyle Rittenhouse's circumstances, he had a defense that negated that terminated that law for him in that circumstance of murder. Yeah, could he have eloquently? Probably. But that's not Trump's thing. Trump is, I'm going to sit on the toilet and I'm going to tweet out what goes through my head right now. Man, it must have been hard.
So,
both Trump and Biden's press secretary, because Trump, you didn't know what the hell he was going to say. So.
Oh, I'm waiting for Monday. I can't wait for Monday. I'm waiting for Monday.
Biden, you have to constantly be playing for what he already said. Oh, no, he didn't actually say that. Yeah, he did. No. What he meant was,
right? Yeah, so I'm looking forward to KJP, Karine Jean Pierre, to have her say about, because Peter is going to definitely be bringing up, hey, why did the DNC do this? Why did the Biden administration do this before the election? Why was this suppressed? Why were you forcing this to be suppressed?
right, because she worked
Oh,
for the communications for his campaign. She's
yep.
probably one of the
So
names that
she's,
was blacked out in them emails.
oh, yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, first episode back. I think we're doing good. Hour and a half.
Yeah.
So, we're going to call it a night. We will be back next week with a lot more interesting stuff. So, this is Fire Talk episode 55. And I bid you adieu.
Farewell.
This is Fire Talk Radio Podcast, and you can check us out on firetalkradio.com. You can email us at firetalknetwork@gmail.com. You can send us a voicemail at 814-380-9820. You can always check us out live on YouTube and Rumble. Hit the like and subscribe button to find out when we go live, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting streaming platform.
We can only count to four. We can only count to four. We can only count to